Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good people, what's going on? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Back at it again.
Yes.
52 weeks of focus. This is week number
7.
with an M
7.
on that thing, man. I hope everybody had a good weekend, man. I know we had a...
Eventful.
Yeah, you could call it that. You could call it that. You could definitely call it that. But yeah, we had an eventful weekend. Give you a short blurb of it. But the show must go on. So week 7 will be about one of my personal favorites. Moving mental mountains.
Yes.
Moving mental mountains. A lot of times, guys, we go through like 10 times as much as we do physically up here. And through my own experiences, once I have learned to control what's going on up here, everything else seems so much easier. So I figured if I learned it, so y'all know me, I'm a little, quick to the slow sometimes. I figure it would be a good idea to share that with you guys as she takes something out of my hand. All right, so real quick, this weekend, last night, as a matter of fact, me and Victoria, as you may have seen on my wife's post, experienced something that was kind of scary.
Traumatic.
Yeah, traumatic. You could call it that. But we actually experienced while we were eating dinner on our weekly date night, going to the movie, a shooting. Yes. Pow was actually a little doop. Like, with this mass hysteria,
Yeah.
I guess. I fell jumping over the rail. I'm good. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, you want to say anything else about it?
No, just hope that you guys never have to experience what we did last night.
Yeah, definitely crazy, man. About 15,000 people in one place trying to get out at the same time.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. Woo, crazy.
Yeah.
But that actually kind of led to
perfect topic.
led to us being here today with
last
moving
night,
mental mountains.
Yeah, it's most definitely mentally taxing.
Yeah, definitely. You kind of figure out who you are in situations like that where there's no planning, there's no I would do this and I would do that. No, it actually happened, and hopefully everybody's okay. We did learn that somebody may have gotten shot or whatnot, but thankfully the damage was minimal, and more importantly, what I took out of it was for myself. I was able to be the husband that I would be. She was my number one kind of concern as she went to go back and get her wallet. Well, we got it. We got it, and we're safe. And thank you guys for the people that have checked on us.
Yeah,
we appreciate it, man. Like crazy. Like the support has been amazing. So as you can see, we're gonna keep it on moving, man, because we got this.
Yeah.
All right, we're mental warriors, and we're continuing to just navigate through this thing, and we're gonna take what we got from last night and use it going forward, just like we're gonna continue on with the show.
Yeah.
Cool. So again, today's topic is moving mental mountains. As always, we're gonna have how many points, babe?
We'll have 4.
4.
Yes.
F-O. Apostrophe. All right. I'm going to start this time because I got tired of her starting first. But I love her, though. All right. So, number one. First point is going to be understanding what your true obstacle is. A lot of us think that the obstacles in our life have to do with a certain circumstance and a certain thing that has happened to us or haven't happened for us. In all actuality, the obstacle itself is the path of recovery. All right. Most of us judge how hard or how easy something is based on the course that we have to take in order to go there. So I'll go ahead and take us to James 1, 2nd through 4th. And it reads, count it all joy, my brothers, and when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of our faith produces steadfastness, and let steadfastness have its full effect. I'm going to read that part again. Let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. So For me, I've learned through various experiences that when things happen, you have two choices. You can actually soak it in and use it going forward, or you can allow it to stop you. And by stop you, I mean literally stop you from doing anything. In the current culture current culture that we have, our past is actually oftentimes used as a roadblock rather than using the past to move forward. Things that have happened to people and things that people have done years and years and years ago has enabled them to do certain things. And in some areas it's justified, but in day-to-day lives, as far as normal people, we oftentimes put our own selves in a box because of the things that have happened to us in the past. For me personally, I've tried to change how I see struggle and see things that happen negatively. Last night, I can definitely use that as an example. As scared as I was in the moment, is as crazy as it was with everybody coming out at the same time. I actually woke up like proud that I was able to be the husband, be the protector, be the person that I've always wanted to be for my wife last night. Unfortunately, it does have to happen. I wasn't able to prove that in any other situation other than like last night. Like, in as strong as my wife is and as independent as my wife is, in that moment, it was only one person in this entire earth that she felt safe around. And who was that, babe?
You, babe.
Hey, boy! I was out here. I was out, and it's crazy. Like I said, it's scary and as serious as last night was. It was equally satisfying to be looked to lead, and have the confidence within myself to do that, like without like fail and without being like I don't know. Like for me, that was like such an empowering moment, and because of that seemingly insignificant moment as far as me is concerned, I was able to kind of like get some positive out of it, and I urge you guys to do the same thing for your life. Like, if there's certain things that continue to happen to you, that may be God's way of trying to prune you of the mindset of my past is holding me back, and actually getting what He is trying to get you to understand out of the quote unquote negative event that continues to happen. And like I said, a lot of times, like, we look at failed relationships, we look at missed opportunities as negative consequences, but what God is actually wanting us to do is to use every situation as a learning experience, both positive and negative, and use that to springboard us forward. So, it's extremely like important to understand where or what it is that you're truly scared of, or what it is that you truly dislike. And as we embrace that path to recovery, and that path, whether it may be difficult or not, to our, I guess, amazingness, or our dopeness, as I like to say, we embrace that, both good and bad. I promise you'll continue to harvest no matter what season it is. Even if it's a rainy season, even if it's the season of amazingness and amazing, like reaping and all that good stuff, we actually have to be involved in our process and continuously looking for things we can learn instead of just focusing in on that negative piece. So, anything, mate?
No.
Sure. All right. Number two. Never give up on yourself. Ever. And I'm going to read the verse first, and then I'll get into this one. We're going to go to Galatians 6:9, and it just says, "And let us not grow weary of doing good. In due season we will reap if we do not give up. One of the most important investments you will ever make is in you. And I'm not even talking about from a monetary. I'm not talking about from a like a physical standpoint. I'm talking about emotional and spiritual. Um, One of God's greatest creations is you. He's put some things inside of you that even you don't understand, and until you chase after whatever it is that you feel like God has placed on you, you will not be able to activate that secret sauce He has put within you. Um, that is super, super, super important, especially for myself as I look back on the things that I've been through, the circumstances that I have had to overcome. At any moment, any of those moments and those critical moments where it was either, hey man, you gonna give up, or are you gonna continue to allow the process to work itself out, and you just continue investing in yourself and not giving up and keep going no matter what. Quick story, my master's program. I was actually kicked out of my master's program because of an error at the admissions office. So their advice to me a few years ago was, "We're sorry, but you've been unenrolled and all this kind of stuff." And for about a month, I didn't stop going to class. I didn't stop, getting grades. I didn't stop, submitting things that I was supposed to submit. Wasn't supposed to submit. I was not in class. I was not in school at that particular time. It was something inside of me. Even professor was like, "Hey, look, man, why are you here? Because you're not enrolled anymore. Blah 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 blah." But that belief, and that steadfastness, and that unbreaking like will to achieve that goal. End up helping me out, because during that time they recognized that, like, hey, look, like, he ain't gonna stop coming to class, so let's look into this. Now, I know he has a little formal whatever going through, but the fact that he has not like stopped coming to class and not kind of stopped in his pursuit actually ended up working out in my favor. And I was readmitted and got all that other stuff I don't really like talking about. But hey, I said it to say that, guys, like, literally nobody can stop you from doing anything. You can make the decision to stop, whether it's to start that business, or whether it's to start that ministry, or whether it's to start working out and losing that first pound all the way to the 50th pound or 100th pound or whatever. Like, nobody can stop you from doing you. Like I said before, God has placed some things within us, man, that we can't even understand or begin to understand, because some of us, we stop. We allow how we feel or how others feel or a little pain to stop us from continuing to go after his will. And I know my wife's going to get into that process a little later, but we have to bet on ourselves 100% of the time. Bet on yourself. I promise you, God has already put some stuff in there. He got that secret sauce. He's just going to sprinkle it in there on you. And you can't realize that until you continue to go after what you want. All right? That desire, God has a weird way of guiding your thoughts and guiding your steps, but you have to be willing to take that step. And number one is not giving up on you, because essentially that's you kind of giving up on him too, because he made you. All right? So lastly, the gifts that God gives us often starts, like I said before, once we exhaust our own strength. All right? And until you're able to like maximize your path by going as far as you can and saying, hey, look, I'm gonna give it all I got. That second that your abilities start to fail, I promise you, gotta be there to help out in like 100 100 million ways. Trust me, because that's how I got this one right here. Because I was definitely broke down, rag. I wasn't that broke down. That was kind of nice. But I was a little rough. I was a little rough now. I was a little rough. I was definitely a little rough. But just continuing on, and no matter what, you don't have to look a certain way. You don't have to have a certain resource that will inside you. God has provided for you. You can use that to your use it to your advantage, man. Like, trust me. Like, it's extremely, extremely important that you understand that you literally can do anything you really want to until you decide to stop. So that was my two. I hope I didn't talk too long. I'm gonna try to keep it a little. Oh, she coughing. That's equivalent to the music at the games. All right, hey, all right, guys, we're good. Hey, here come the other 2 points from this lady right here.
Hey guys, starting off with point 3. The third of the fourth topic or points. Recharging your spiritual battery.
Charge them up, y'all.
Starting off with Philippians 4:6-7. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God, and the peace of God, which passeth all understanding. This shall keep your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. So I start off with this particular Bible verse because you cannot, and no, I'm going to start off with this question. Do you recharge your mental, physical, and spiritual batteries as often as you charge your phone? As the charger comes into the picture.
I want y'all to think about what you just said.
You charge your phone once it gets to 50%.
Some of y'all probably charging your phone right now.
Sometimes you don't like, well, your phone may get to 40% and you're rushing to charge it. What do you do when you feel spiritually drained? How do you recharge yourself? When you feel mentally drained, how do you recharge yourself? You have to ask yourself that question because we're so dependent on this one device on a daily basis. We recharge it and make updates, and we constantly cleaning it.
And buy the newest version.
Buy it right. Well, we don't have the newest version, but
as y'all can see.
Yeah, but
iPhone 7 stand up. We good.
So that Bible verse goes back to being spiritually recharged, mentally recharged, physically recharged. And what I mean in terms of, all three of those topics is, one, physically going to the gym. That's part of recharging and, optimizing your body to, go through day-to-day things like work and, unexpected stressors like we had last night.
Yeah,
and,
crazy.
One thing that you can do in order to stay focused mentally is you have to take time to recharge your internal battery. For instance, if you have to take a break from social media for a day or a week or a month or 2-3 months, you have to do what you need to do in order to have peace within yourself.
Definitely.
And be focused on what God has for you in terms of your purpose and your destiny.
And babe, before you start, that doesn't have to look a certain way. It does not have to take place at a certain place. For me, odd things like running, everybody can't run. That's fine. I also have a coloring book, y'all. An adult coloring book. Yeah, she got me one. Yeah. Like that, anything that allows your brain to stop worrying and thinking and all that. Like be able to do something that clears your mind. Okay? Yes. That means a lot. Like a whole lot. All right? So, sorry, my bad. That was bubbling in my spirit. My bad.
And also going to bed earlier, making it a point to, even if you're not actually sleep, resting, that makes a difference on your body, your mental and physical body. And it also, helps set the stage for the next day.
Definitely.
And also, muting the negative things around you, help you to recharge your spiritual battery.
That's what social media comes in.
Social media can be very negative at times if some of the people or some friends or family members may be negative that are in your life. You have to reevaluate those things constantly because they could be draining your battery, your internal battery. Yeah. So just all constantly look at the energy around you, because regardless of whether you realize it or not, your body and your spirit absorbs those types of energies that are around you. So if you choose to surround yourself with positive people, positive things, positive music, positive television shows, you'll see a change in terms of you're not feeling drained all the time. You feel energetic. When you start eating healthier, you feel more energetic. Because it seems like the more junk you eat, the more drained you get.
Hey, boy.
So that goes back to your internal battery.
Right.
So just keep those few things in mind in terms of recharging your spiritual and your internal battery. And of course, if you have any more questions or concerns on how to do that, reach out to us.
Let us know, y'all.
Yeah.
We might not have all the answers.
We don't have
Matter
all
of
the
fact, we don't
answers.
have most of the answers.
No.
But we can definitely put you in contact or give you what work for us, and then maybe we can get you taken care of, man.
Yes. Moving on to the fourth point, you have to trust your process.
Trust the process.
Again, I say you have to trust your process. I clapped on that because so many people question their process and they question their path and they question their purpose, when in the beginning and end you have to trust God through all of it.
Yeah, man. Got to.
Starting with Joshua 1:9, have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. So regardless if you feel lost on where you're supposed to go, God is with you. Regardless if you know where your destiny is moving towards, God is with you. Regardless of if you're at the beginning of the process, the middle of the process, or the end of the process, God is there. And everything we go through is a part of our God-given destiny.
Say that again for the people.
So everything we go through is a part of our God-given destiny. And sometimes God takes things from us suddenly in order to direct our steps, because we won't listen any other way.
Some of y'all hard-head out there, including me. I'm real hard-headed.
So God will sometimes literally take the rug out from under your feet to bring attention to Him and what He wants you to do.
Right.
So I would rather Him let me know subtly than...
Because she hard-headed, y'all. I'm telling y'all,
my
not for real.
Yeah, I'm a little stubborn.
Strong-willed. I'm sorry, that sounds negative. She's very strong-willed.
Whatever. So, whether you have a weight loss goal and you've hit a plateau, you have to trust the process. I'll say that again. There are so many people out there that are trying to get healthy for various reasons. But you hit that wall and you work out daily. You're eating clean, at least 80-90% of the time. And that weight's still there. But then you wake up the next week and you're down another 8-9 pounds out of nowhere.
In a day.
I don't know about a day. But
It happened to me.
It's never happened to me. But you have to trust the process.
Right.
And if you feel like all you do is pray, you talk to God, but God is quiet and you don't hear from Him, you have to continue to trust the process. The teacher is silent during the test.
Right.
So...
Ooh. Say that again.
The teacher is silent.
Hey,
during
she
the
out here.
test.
Hey, boy, y'all would have kept these things. I ain't heard that one.
And if you're trying to get ahead financially and you hit some roadblocks, like you may have to drain your emergency, fund because your car broke down, or, you have somebody in your family that's hurting financially and it's putting you in a bind, you have to trust the process, because that may be a test to elevate you to a bigger financial blessing. Right. So when someone comes to you and asks, for help financially, don't automatically shoot them down. You have to see, I know in this day and age, some people say, oh, well, they don't need it. They don't look like they're hurting. Well, you never know. You may be talking to an angel.
Yeah.
You don't know, because angels do walk amongst us.
They do. They definitely do.
And there are just 3 quick things that will help you to trust the process more. You have to learn to trust the process by practicing patience.
Ooh. The P word, y'all.
We live in a microwave society. We want things instantly.
Now. Everything.
God tests our patience to see if we're ready for the blessing.
Right.
If we want to rush to the end without going through the process, we won't appreciate the blessing. Right. You have to stop overthinking about what could go wrong and focus on what can go right.
Ooh, thinking.
Especially, from last night, there was various scenarios. I know I was playing in my head in terms of what could have went wrong. But once I calmed down, I actually thought about what went right and that both of us were okay and neither of us got shot.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Because it could have been very different. And also, trusting the process will prevent you from going through unnecessary heartache and disappointments. It's when we rush the process where we hurt ourselves or we get hurt. For instance, if you just started dating someone and you feel like y'all should be married 3 or 4 months down the road, don't do it. Because God...
Say that again, please.
Oh, so if you have been in a relationship for, I'm just throwing a random number, 3 or 4 months or even 2-3 years, don't rush the process. Let your future husband do it on his time. Because you want to avoid that heartache and disappointment, and you don't want your future husband to resent you for forcing him to try to propose. Because regardless of how much you push him, he's not going to propose to you until he's ready.
And more importantly, God does stuff on his own time.
Yeah.
Man. If he feel like you rushing him, he gonna go ahead and hit that boop. Pause. We're gonna see what's really going on here.
Yes.
All right.
Just trust the process, because everybody's journey to the end result is different. Some people get married after 3 months. Some people get married after years. Some people get married after 5 years. Everybody has a different process for a reason.
Right.
So just keep that in mind. And to my singles, in an age of comparison syndrome. Yes, that's an actual syndrome. Yes, yeah, it is. If you need to take a break from social media to stop that comparison syndrome, then do so. Because that season is temporary and you won't be single forever.
Right.
Don't let somebody say that you will, because somebody's going to love you for you. And also, don't be emotionally led but spiritually led to your decision. Sometimes we get so emotionally spent up that we make decisions that we regret once we've calmed down, or once we actually came down from being so angry or hurt or heartbroken. In that time, I encourage you to be silent. Take some time out. You can sit here and talk to God all night if you want to. But don't run and talk to your best friend. Don't run and talk to the guy or the girl that hurt you. Talk to God. Because God will actually show you what you need to see. Right. Or he may have already shown you what you need to see, but you don't want to see it. So I just wanted to let you know, just be spiritually led and not emotionally led. Because we're emotional beings. Right. We're human. But when you see yourself getting emotional and you can't think straight, take a step back, because you may say something that you will regret and that you can't take back.
Right. And something that I've learned is when we feel hurt at our cores, and when we really feel like somebody has wronged us, or when we experience something negative due to another person, we oftentimes don't go to others for advice. We go to them for validation, or confirmation, or just about permission to feel the way that we feel, instead of, like I said before, understanding what to do from here. All right, and oftentimes God doesn't give us that validation that we desire. Sometimes He gives us direction. And if we look for direction instead of validation, I promise you will be moving a lot faster to your goal, whether that be, I know we're just talking about relationships, whether that be the relationship that you want, or whether that be the career, definitely the career, because Lord Jesus, I definitely got to get on that one. But guys, look for that. Look for direction instead of validation, because that validation will come. I promise you. There are people right now. I don't think I do much as a teacher, but there are people that think I'm like,
he's dope,
pretty cool. I'm all right.
He's a dope teacher.
But that's because I don't do that for validation. I do what's right by what God tells me to do, and also what He has given me. He's given me kind of dominion over that area of my life, and also I do that for Him and only Him. Right. It is what it is.
Yes. Yes, and just keep in mind, there are always going to be those naysayers out there. Regardless of what you post, they're going to have something to say. Regardless of what you say, they're going to have something to say.
Peanut gallery.
Those are people that are irritated by your spirit because they have demons that they can't get past.
Oh yeah, man. People reject them all the time.
So, yeah, just take that.
Seek direction from God.
Take that
Not
into consideration because it's a crazy world out here, especially with social media.
Yeah, misery loves company, man.
Yes, and thankfully, I guess I know I grew up without social media up until college, really, but. Yeah, I don't know about him. Yeah, so
you know, that's back when Facebook.
yeah, and I couldn't have a cell phone pretty much till almost my senior year of high school. So,
yeah, I don't think I got one to my senior year too.
So my view is a little different. But I know social media keeps a lot of people connected. That's a very positive thing about social media.
Right.
But don't get spun up in just social media. There's so much else out there other than that.
Yeah.
And again, don't let it get you down mentally.
Just don't let people get you down.
Yes.
It just boils down to that validation that you're seeking from others. That, hey, good job. And not saying nothing's wrong with getting a good job, but if that is the sole reason that you're doing it, eventually, the direction that you are seeking won't be as clear as it is if you're going towards something that's led by him, for him, and through him.
Yeah.
All right. So,
yeah, and just trust the process. This applies to both of us.
Yeah.
Because there are some things that we're praying on and hoping for, and we just have to, trust the process because everything happens on God's timing and not ours.
Right. And being wrong is part of the process, guys.
Yes.
It is part of it. You might feel
okay
might feel like you struck out, or you might feel like you did it wrong, and understand all of that is a part of the process. All of it. All right? God is going to use everything that you failed at. I promise you. He will use everything that you failed at. In I don't care what area that you can apply this to. Everything that you failed at, he's going to use it for your benefit.
Yes.
You're going to learn something. You're going to understand how things work through failure. You're going to actually learn what not to do.
Yep.
There's literally a lesson in every day. We sow and we reap every single day. And if you take that mindset as you wake up, as you open your eye, wipe the crust out your eyes every morning, all right, what I'm going to learn today.
Yeah.
I promise you, man, you'll be better for it, man. Better for it. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, babe.
Hey, man. You did that.
You did too, babe.
Hey, I like it. I like it. We're going to close the thing out in prayer. I didn't forget like I did last week. Learned that one. But if you guys bow your heads real quick. All right, Heavenly Father, thank you for your amazingness. Thank you for continuing to sow into us. Thank you for those that are watching, man. We definitely appreciate the energy that they continuously give us, God. We also want to pray for them as they go through their week.
Yes.
We pray that we continue to praise your name. We pray that others continue to praise your name and find strength in who you are, even when ours gives out. Also, God, we pray that we continue to trust the process that you've laid out for us and understand that even through hard times, God, you are sowing into us. So I also pray that everybody has a great week. And also, God, we want to just thank you for grace. Thank you for the mercy that you showed us over this weekend and everybody else that, may be dealing with something as well. And we know that you're going to bring us through. Yes. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, folks.
All right. See you guys next week.
Next week, shawty.
Thanks for tuning in, and make sure to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah, we got 9 subscribers.
No, we have 11. 11 now.
Oh,
almost to 15 subscribers.
Yo, we ain't never did it, y'all.
Yeah.
The link is going to be in the group.
The Facebook group. And if you want to invite to the Facebook group, just let us know.
Yeah, message me and her. I think we got public stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, tell a friend.
Yes. All right. Bye.
Appreciate it, y'all. See y'all. Peace.
Peace.